Waiver wire to quarterbacks, Jay, yesterday, and I agree with this point. You called Russell Wilson a bit of a mirage, but maybe he's got one more Houdini act in him this week because he's got the Ravens' pass defense.
Yep, the Ravens' defense, they are the ultimate pass funnel. You cannot run on the Ravens whatsoever, but you can pass on them, as Joe Burrow repeatedly has shown. Now, Russell Wilson isn't Joe Burrow, but I think he will have some favorable matchups here. I still keep waiting for the Ravens' defense to get better. Like, there's so much overlap with the personnel of last year. It doesn't make sense that they're this bad. And so it's still, it just makes me a little bit nervous, Russell Wilson starting against the Baltimore Ravens with his relative lack of weapons. But I think until the Ravens pass D shows that it's fixed, that opposing quarterbacks who are competent, and Russell Wilson, even though I don't think he's elite, I think he's very competent, he will be startable.
I know. It's so funny because it's we talked yesterday about, it's the mirage. It's like a mirage. He's not playing well.
It hasn't looked pretty.
No.
And by the way, in any of these games.
He has not been good.
But fantasy relevant.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets game, he's getting all the bounces. And
he just lobbed the ball as high as he could in the air and said George Pickens is going to find this punt.
Going
and he did.
14 for 28 against the Commanders is not
That's a big red flag.
Yes.
With no Marshawn Lattimore, by the way.
Correct.
So,
having said that, though, to your point, if you need a quarterback and, it's a good matchup here, quarterbacks that face the Ravens this year are averaging 22 fantasy points per game. That's second most in the NFL. And certainly Russell's confidence is at a Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's confidence is at an all-time high.
The thing is with him, I actually believe he would tell someone that.
Yeah.
It's actually Roussel, but everybody calls me Russ. That's the problem with that joke is that it's too on point.
It's too on point. He would.
All right, our next quarterback
is
Bo Nix.
Got to be unlimited.
Oh man, nightmares.
Unlimited.
Bo Nix against the Falcons, 67% available. Jay, Bo Nix.
The unlimited character didn't really take off. I think the way that.
No, Let's Ride had better shelf life.
Yeah, Let's Ride.
Well, and then we saw that ended.
And what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Steal up. We still up.
Yes.
We still got a chance for steal up.
Yeah.
Bo Nix stopped his Taysom Hill act, Jay. He's actually throwing the ball now. Really is an effective, somewhat effective fantasy quarterback, especially in two quarterback leagues.
He's made such strides, even since that New Orleans game on Thursday Night Football, which was an abomination. And even though they won that game going away, Bo Nix in that game, he looked horrific. It was comical, meme throws that were lighting up Twitter. He was, I think we were texting about this, Connor, which you weren't a part of, Matthew, where he was just, he's leaning back in the pocket before the pressure even starts to come. I've never seen a quarterback. He's running backwards before anyone's
like a video game.
That's why usually Patrick Mahomes steps up into the pocket to make his throws, but no, he played. I thought that he was going to get eviscerated by Spags' defense. He wasn't. He was fine. He's competent, and just the rushing value just gives him such a high floor.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with all of that, and I also think it's a nice matchup here against the Falcons. Over the last month, they've given up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins has been up and down, and so I certainly think going up against the Broncos defense, you could see maybe some short fields. Maybe there's a turnover or two where Bo Nix has gets the ball in the Falcons' territory right there. Since week 6, this is a crazy stat, but since week 6, Bo Nix is the 6th best quarterback in fantasy football.
Yeah, no, I believe
because of course he is.
The rushing is real. And look,
sport is a disgrace.
In that game, Denver Broncos 2.5-point favorites, home to the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think people would pick that before the season when the Broncos were expected to be a 6-win team and the Falcons were minus money to win the division, which they're still going to do, but that implies that the Broncos are slightly better than the Falcons on a neutral field, which is a testament to how good that Broncos defense is and the strides that Nix has taken.
And they believe in Audric Estime.
And they believe in
the markets are saying.
The markets don't underestimate Estime.
DraftKings correctly Estime Audric.
Yeah, there you go. I like that one.
Drake Maye makes our list for quarterbacks this week. He's 87% available against the Rams, which definitely helps him here. But Matthew, Drake Maye's been rock solid in all 4 of his games this season.
He's averaging over 17 fantasy points per game, and a good chunk of those, 36% of those points, come from his rushing, which is, just again, gives you a high floor. Even though you sit there and you look at the Patriots, kind of a low-scoring offense, it's not like high octane or anything like that. But Drake Maye, because of the production you get from his legs, and he's competent enough as a pass catcher, and you're getting some production out of Hunter Henry and Demario Douglas. We've seen some moments from Jalen Polk and Buyut, yeah, Keyshawn. Biote?
Booty?
Booty or Booty? Biote?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways you can go with that.
Yeah.
Sam Boutte?
Boutte.
Anyway, whatever. Drake Maye's
Pete's in the control room just like, this is the worst show I've ever
defensive
produced.
midfield for the Ivory Coast, I think.
Sure, of course he does. Anyway. Anyway, Drake Maye is a quarterback, and he's available in 78% of leagues. There you go.
And so is Jameis Winston, available in 92% of the leagues.
Sure.
Yep, he's got the Saints, Jay, and we know Jameis is going to drop back and just
revenge
throw the rock.
game. That's what everyone's going to talk about this week. Chiefs, Bills, whatever. This is the Jameis Winston revenge game. Hashtag revenge game.
The pregame speech is going to be epic.
What a game. Browns Saints in week 11. Yes, I think it's 9.
Are we flexing that to Sunday night? Does anyone know? Are we flexing
We already got Jets Colts out of Sunday night.
Thank God.
Thank goodness.
What's going on with the Saints defense? Is this because we came into the season thinking this was going to be a good defense? It was a top 5, top 7 defense last year. Started off fine, and then just became an absolute catastrophe. Where they gave up 51 points to Baker Mayfield. They let the Chiefs do whatever they wanted deep through the air. They let the Broncos run all over them. And then they shut down Kirk Cousins last week. So what, is this a good defense or not?
No, it's not. I mean, they've been banged up on the back end, and obviously they've also traded one of their marquee players on the back end. They've not really drafted very well up front for years now, and it's finally caught up to them. So I think they were well coached. I mean, let's not forget, Dennis Allen was their DC for a long time, so they had that going for them. But yeah, they got old, they missed on draft picks, and eventually the talent kind of dried up for them up front.
So favorable matchup for Jameis, just given how porous the past defense has been. Again, the full Jameis experience, which we are now all witness to, it's just going to depend on whether his ridiculous pass that he shouldn't let go, whether that goes right through the hands for a touchdown or whether it gets picked a couple of times. That's just how it goes.
The full Jameis is always fun. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.